All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Retro Jersey Podcast. And I have two of the Philadelphia's finest in the building. We have with us the great Ivan Robinson and the Big Papa Speller. What's up, gentlemen?
How you doing, man?
What's going on, brothers?
I can't complain.
Don't do no good to complain anyway, fellas. Pop, talk to me, bro. How you doing?
Oh, he just vanished off for a
He
minute.
vanished. I'll send him back. Hey, I'll get him back in here. There he is.
What's cracking?
What's going on, brother?
Talk to
You
me,
got
man. Talk to me. Huh?
you got you got the stage, man. He gave the stage.
Hey, well, what do you want to know? Talk to me.
You know, just wanted you to introduce yourself and,
Hey,
you know,
hey, man. I can't introduce myself other than Philly's own Big Papa. You understand? Big Papa.
well, we're glad to have you on. We're glad to have you on. You guys are legendary. I and I say this to everybody that listens. Philadelphia is the fightingest city in the world. The greatest fighters, the greatest basketball players, the greatest singers, all come from Philadelphia. Tell me some of your influences in music, sports, and other things when you guys were growing up. You're 70s babies, I presume.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Definitely 70 babies all day, all night.
That right. So tell me who were some of your early influences, like Dr. J or anybody like that from Philadelphia. Who did you look up to in Philadelphia the most growing up?
Who, me or Papa?
Yeah,
Which one? Me or Big Papa?
both of you
Um,
guys, both of you guys.
well, well, me coming up, I basically I looked at guys like Ray Robinson,
Okay,
Ray Leonard.
okay,
I didn't watch too much of Muhammad Ali, which everybody loved Muhammad Ali.
of
I
course.
wasn't really I really wasn't a fan too much of Muhammad Ali. But as far as basketball, I messed with Doc, but I was a Jordan man.
Okay, okay, okay. What about you, Pop?
Oh man, I had a few fighters on my list, man. Man, I had to say, man, it's quite a few of them, man. George Foreman.
Okay,
Shit, man. Who else? Man, Pernell, Sweet Pea, man.
yes, yes.
Uh, Man, who else? A lot. Of course, man, Mike Tyson, man. Mike Tyson was my guy, man.
Okay,
But of course, man. Believe it or not, man. I grew up watching Ivan a lot, man. I really did, man. And it's just coincidental that out of the blue, man, I just started training with him.
okay, okay.
But
So
as far as basketball, man, I was strictly, I don't know. I was a Philadelphia guy, man. But it was hard for me to let up off Michael Jordan, man. So I was definitely a Jordan fan.
I hear none of you. I didn't mention football, and that's my mistake. I didn't hear nobody mention Randall Cunningham too much.
Oh well, if you want to, if you want to go football, man, I can go, Philadelphia Eagles all day. I ain't taking nothing else. Reggie White, you know,
Okay.
uh, Randall Cunningham, that whole squad back then, man. That was my team.
You
Reggie
guys
Brown,
had a great
Jerome
squad.
Brown,
I mean,
all them guys, man.
you guys had a great squad back then. Yeah, like I think Chris Carter was a rookie back then, and you know who else? Reggie White, Jerome Brown, rest his soul. Uh, he was great for you guys. So let's go to singers. Who's the greatest singer to come out of Philadelphia?
Oh, that's easy with no hands down. She's still doing her thing. Patty LaBelle, ain't no doubt.
Fatty
Come on,
LaBelle.
man.
Whoa, whoa! I got to do pushback. I got to give
Push
you a
back.
little pushback. I'm gonna say,
I,
rest her soul, Phyllis Hyman.
that my man. I was just getting ready to say Phyllis Hyman. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. That's her family. I did a story on her, and her family just loved it and adored it, and they basically adopted me. So that's another reason I got to come hang out with you guys.
Yeah, definitely. Phyllis Hyman, you can't knock her off. You know,
Yeah,
people
yeah.
don't, I don't think people even know Phyllis Hyman was from Philly. Unless you're an old head like yourself or like my dad or my mom. That's the only way you'll know. But yeah, I love her music.
So I know one day I think I mentioned to you guys or jabbed at you guys about
We
where
missing
did he go?
Papa. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know we missing Papa. That's
Okay,
that
hang on.
that's
Let me
that
get it
that's
back in
that that's that Florida connection down there, man. It's kind of weak.
Out there, you got
here. All right. So uh tell the guys backstage they can tap into the comments. They're welcome to comment all day. But like I said, I think we talked about your favorite boxer and who you Ivan resemble to me as far as great boxers go. And I know you mentioned to me that Sugar Ray Robinson is probably your guy. And I think I mentioned to you, to me, that's who you kind of favor when it comes to boxing. What do you say to that?
Yeah, I mean, you try not to cop a fighter style. You try to have your own style,
Yeah,
no matter. And I tell all my fighters that, like when I get a fighter that comes in the gym, I don't train him like me. Because honestly, none of them can be like me. And I can't train a fighter to be like me because no disrespect, I was special.
yeah,
So I give them what they bring to me. Whatever they bring to me, I just add on to it, whatever they need to put in their arsenal. Like with Papa, I don't change Papa style. I just try to add things to it and make it more smoother for him as he train and as he go along throughout the fight, throughout the days we prep in the gym and all that type stuff. So, I pretty much watch Ray Robinson. Then I put a little Sugar Ray Leonard in it. But one guy that I didn't mention that Papa mentioned was Purnell. I spent
yeah,
a lot of time in camp with Purnell. I didn't
yeah.
actually try to mock his style, but I mean the sweetness that Purnell had, the slip game he had, man, that was just something special. And for me to be in that ring with him and actually be there in his face and to get the knowledge that he gave me and the spanking that he gave me, it was crazy.
Hey man, that's my favorite boxer of all time, Pernell Whitaker, and I'm just so amazed how he could, like you just alluded to, slip in punches. I mean, I, you said he gave you a beating. I mean, did he display some of those moves to you or against you when you guys sparred or whatever?
Man, I mean, he displayed all them moves. It was like he was magic, man. He be right there in your face, and you go to hit him, and he not there. He behind you. You know what I'm saying? And you like, well, where this guy at? And you turn around, and he hitting you with 3 and 4 punch combination. You sitting there like, man, look, fuck that. I'm ready to leave. You know what I'm saying? That's just how Purnell was, man. He just was the master, man. And what made him even that much more special, he was a southpaw.
Yeah, he's amazing. Arnon, my favorite boxer of all time.
Yeah,
So, Papa, you
yeah.
have an experience with Purnell? Can you hear me?
I don't know if he can hear you. Pop,
I
pop.
can, I can hear you.
All right. Uh, you have any experience with Pernell Whitaker?
No, I don't have no experience with him, man.
So that's it's
Them guys
just
was
your
before my time, man.
he's
Different
just your
era.
guy. So tell us a little bit about your boxing style. I hear Ivan mentioning He's trying to implement a couple of things into your style. Tell us about your style and how you fight.
Uh, I don't know, man. A lot of guys, a lot of trainers used to tell me, man, that I had a style similar to oh man, what's this guy name, man? I can't think of his name to save my life right now on the tip of my tongue, man. I can't even spit it out. I hate that, but it was just one particular guy. Well, no, Georgie Bent. They said I had a style similar to Georgie Bent,
Okay, okay, okay. So I understand you're just coming out of something extremely trying. I mean, far as, and I'll let you tell the viewers as far as what you're going through. Uh, you want to explain that to the viewers?
man. Hey man, I just for everybody that don't know, man, I just beat my fourth round of cancer. So going on for about 5 months now, man. And only thing I can say, man, I'm just grateful and I'm blessed, man, that I'm still here, man. Four-time cancer survivor, man.
So you're a four-time champion.
If that's what you want to call it.
That's what we all call it. Anytime you can beat cancer, you're a
Yes,
champion.
sir.
Yeah,
No
anytime
problem.
you can beat that. So we don't have a lot on your boxing history, but tell us a little bit about your boxing history.
Man, it was long but short, man. I just ran across a lot of bad management. Uh, basically, man, just I just had a fucked up team altogether, man.
Okay.
I started out with a great guy, great promoter, Greg Robinson. He was the first guy to put me on the map. And I had a great experience with Greg, man. But moving along, man, I just ran into some bad spots, man. With managements and fights. I wouldn't necessarily say that uh, I was overmatched because all the fights that I had, man, they were definitely winnable. So I mean, hey, man, one thing about it, man, is that I never went into a fight. Everybody that know me, man, and seen me out there, man, I never was in a fight out of shape. I always came to fight, no matter who it was. I gave it 110%, man. Inside that gym, inside that ring, I did what I did, man. So, that's what displayed me, man, to be the man that I am, man. So, hey, man, for me
Amen.
to for me to carry that name, Big Papa, man, that's some big shoes to follow, man. That's some big shoes to fill.
Amen. So my question is, I mean, my other question is, and it's to both of you guys, uh, how has the sport of boxing disciplined you in the game of life?
Uh, hey, man, that's a good question. Uh, it disciplined me in a lot of ways, man. First of all, staying in shape. Until this day, you know, I stayed in shape, man. I'm especially being a cancer survivor, man. I realize how important it is, man, to eat right, eat healthy, keep a regular exercise routine, but also, man, it disciplined me mentally, man. It kept me fundamentally sharp mentally, man. So, I mean, hey, it played a big part, man. Definitely did.
Amen. Amen. What about you, Ivan?
Well, I mean, I think, one thing that was good for me was that I had my dad in my corner, and my dad didn't let me lax on nothing that I was supposed to do, even to the point where I did it for so long No disrespect. I did it for so long. I didn't really know how good I was. I didn't know how good I was until I actually got that I ain't gonna say that call, but I got that opportunity to actually get ready to be a member of that '92 Olympic team. Then I knew that's when it was
Okay.
real, you
Okay.
know. And then when I got jerked from making that team, I guess it really opened my eyes to really know what I could do, how far I could go, and exactly what type of potential I had to I guess as you could say be great. And one thing for sure, two things for certain, we on this podcast tonight because we trying to put a fight together with Big Papa and Chris Bird, and
Man.
it's just ironic that Chris Bird was my teammate in '92, but he went on to the Olympics. I didn't go, and he knows as well as anybody else that I got jerked from making that Olympic team. But
Explain, but before I didn't mean to cut you off, but explain the reason because I've seen this happen in the Olympics before, and I'm a big I'm a big historian of what you guys do. Explain the way you felt like you got jerked out of that.
well, I mean, first of all, I mean, I'm a religious guy. I'm not
Amen.
really all into church like that, but I do believe in God, and there are reasons why you don't get to do certain things, and there are reasons why we mess up and do things. To me, honestly, it was just crazy because uh, I had fought Oscar 3 times in the amateurs, and anybody that know me, even Big Papa tell you, anybody that know that I beat Oscar, but I never got any.
This we're talking about De La Hoya.
Yes, sir. We're talking about De La Hoya.
Okay.
I never,
Wow.
I never got any of the decisions. So we was like neck and neck, and we was neck and neck in the year '92, and it was going to be either him, or it was going to be either me. After I lost to him the last time in the U.S. Championships, he decided to move up to 132, and I stayed at 125. So that was like a 1-2 punch right there. That's all everybody talked about in boxing. Oscar and Ivan. It was going to be 2 Olympic gold medals coming back from the United States of America. But what happened was I got jerked by a guy named Julian Willard that I never had the
I remember
opportunity.
him. I
Right.
remember him, the skinny guy. Yeah,
There you go.
so you he
I lost
was
to him twice. I lost to him in the Eastern trials in the box off. I lost to him. And by me losing to him both times, he went to represent the American team, and I was an alternate to show you how things work. The year before that, they had a pre-Olympics out in Sydney, Australia, where the Olympics was going to be at. They sent me out there as their number one guy to represent USA and get ready for the Olympics. I beat the Korean. I knocked out the Russian, but I lost to the Cuban. Julian Willer beat me to go on to make the Olympic team for USA, and he goes out there and gets stopped by the Russian that I beat. So that just showed you how things, play a part in what goes on in politics when it comes to boxing. But I was
yeah.
cool with it. I was really upset, but I was cool with it because you know why? I had a very successful professional career, so I was
Yes,
good.
indeed you did. For the viewers, that was that same Olympics that the Dream Team, the original Dream Team was on, correct?
No, the dream team was Oh yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. That's the dream team was the basketball team.
Yeah, the Dream Team, the
Yeah,
basketball team with
yeah,
Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Barkley, and all
yeah.
those guys. That's the original Dream Team. So you got wow. So how did you lose to Wheeler, if you don't mind me asking?
That's a great question. I couldn't tell you. I don't know, man. I thought I landed the more punches. I thought I was the better boxer. I just thought that's just what I thought it was, and he edged me.
To me, he just seemed like a finesse fighter, more than a power puncher. You would know better than I do, but that's just from what I see.
Well,
So
he wasn't a power puncher. He was a tall, lanky kid that
yeah,
had great. He knew how to use his distance very well. But I don't, like I said before. Papa tell you the same thing. We not guys that run around and talk about how good we are and nothing like that. But at the end of the day, sir, I was the polished and I was the better fighter.
I've seen you fight. So, um, what I mean, I wanted to ask you, and I wanted to ask Papa first before I ask you, but I'll come back to you, Ivan. I wanted to ask Papa, out of your short-lived career, out of your short-lived career, and we know you're trying to make a small comeback, but your short-lived career, out of that short-lived career, who was your most difficult fight? Do you remember him or
Man, you know what, man? To be honest with you, I didn't have no difficult fights, man. Everybody that they put in front of me, man, they wasn't difficult, man. It's just that some fights I lost, man, the fights that I did lost, they just basically, man, it just came off of, I guess, just dumb mistakes. But they just, I really didn't have no issues, man. I always train. One thing for sure, man, is that every time I fought, man, I always trained with guys, man, that was, levels above me, man. So anytime it came time for me to get in there with anybody, man, I was always able to go in there and showcase my shit, man. So can't really say that nobody gave me problems, man. I didn't train with some of the best of them, man. Out of Philadelphia, man. Hank Lundy, even when Jerron was a young boy, man, Jerron was giving me work, man. And he was a kid, I give my shout out to Boots, man, but I mean, man, it's just so many, man. Farah and the whole Ennis family, man. I've been around them guys, man. For a very long time. Um, Tyreek Robinson, all them guys, man. Derek Webster, you know, Philadelphia just, Philadelphia just stacked with fighters, man. And I just train with all of them. I train with the best of them. So when it came time to fight, I didn't give a fuck who I fought, man. I just went in there and did my thing.
hey man, yeah. My my next question is for Ivan. Uh, in your in your um in your amateur ranks, who do you feel like, and we'll separate that from the pro ranks. Who do you feel like was your toughest opponent in your amateur ranks?
They're actually, it's crazy. Boxing, period. I tell everybody and everybody that's listening, they probably know it, but I'm gonna just say take heed to it anyway. Boxing is not a game. Boxing is for real.
Mhm.
First of all, I commend any fighter. I don't care if it's a 90-year-old man. I don't care if it's a 60-year-old man. I don't care if it's a 20-year-old man. I don't care if it's a kid 8, 9 years old. If anybody them ages get in the ring, I respect them because
Amen.
everybody can't do this.
Amen.
You know what I'm
Amen.
saying? Guys can't go in the ring and get punched in their face. Just
Yeah.
can't do it. You know what I'm
Can't teach
saying?
that.
Right. And Mike Tyson said it best. You can get in the ring and want to fight, but as soon as you get hit, all that stuff goes straight out the goddamn window. You forget about all that. That stuff is just something different. But getting to what you said as far as my toughest fight, one was I fought I fought a kid that people may know named Sean Bay Mitchell. I fought
Okay.
him I fought him in the I can't remember what year it was. Had to be like around 86, 87, somewhere around there. I fought him and he beat me. And I prayed and I told him to his face and I told his team, I said, the next year I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna knock you out. I went back the next year and I did exactly what I said I was going to do. I knocked him out. But he was my hardest the first fight because he was just so he was a older guy. He had more experience. He had been out to the Nationals. So, it was just something different. But then as I got older, my toughest fight, my toughest fight, ah, I'll say my toughest fight was the kid from Cuba, was Arnaldo Mesa. He was number one and I was number two. And I mean, this kid, I mean, I could say he ran from me, but saying running from you is just actually like running. He didn't really actually run. He actually outboxed me, man. But he was on his bicycle the whole fight. I mean, trying to catch him and hit him and all that. And the European fighters have such a crazy style, and
Yeah.
it was what it was. So, him and Sean Bay Mitchell was my toughest two fighters. Oscar was tough too, but Oscar was just tall, lanky, and he could box well. And then people don't know that Oscar was a converted southpaw. That's why his left hand was his hardest punch. That's why the Joker could hit you with a left hook and knock you until next week someday. You know what I'm saying?
That's interesting. That's interesting because I remember when around the Olympics, I thought he was a right hand guy, and you said
He,
that he converted to southpaw. That's something I
he,
never knew.
he was a southpaw, but they converted him back to right hand.
Okay, so they converted him. Okay,
Yeah, that's
okay,
why his left hand was so. That's why his left hand was so strong.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. So uh, I don't know if I asked you guys this. I don't like to get in y'all pockets, but what would be a proper payday for you guys if you decided to come out of retirement to fight?
Well, I'm gonna just jump over Papa because I don't want to hear what Papa got to say. I already know what he gonna say. For me, for me, it's zero. Cause I,
So,
cause I'm not trying to come back. I'm not trying to do none of that. And the reason I say that because Papa could understand it. I can understand right now, actually, with Papa going through all the things he went through, and that's my man. I love him dearly. That's my dude. Me coming up, I used to love watching Papa fight because he wore such the greatest outfits ever. But like he said, he was just like handled wrong, man. And I caught Papa like at the end of his career when my career was just about over. I was thinking about getting into the management and well, there's no doubt that I'm a trainer, but I seen Papa and I understood what he wanted to do. I understood his feelings because a lot of times, like when I fought, we didn't fight on the same card. I might have fought before he fought. I might have fought in Vegas or Atlantic City, but I always kept up what was going on in the city because I lived in Jersey. But
okay,
I'm a Philly guy at 100%. So when I heard about the cards that his promoter was putting on, I always used to shoot right to Philly and go see my man fight. And like he said, every time he came to fight, he was never he was never really in a bad fight, even though a lot of times the fighters he fought were better than him at some point, far as like experience wise. I'm not gonna say fight wise, but just by experience wise. Um, Papa's the type of fighter he presses you. You know what I'm saying? He punches very hard. He gets you inside. It could be a wrap any given day. He can get you out of it. But he was fighting fighters that didn't want to be in there with him. As far as when I say didn't want to be in there with him, they wasn't gonna trade punches with him. You know what I'm saying? They was not gonna let Papa get his punches off. And then there was some fights that I just thought that he overwhelmed some of the fights, but he didn't get the decision. But that's in the past. I commend him for still doing what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? I love him because we just have that Philly connect. You know what I'm saying? Although he in Florida right now, but we still got that Philly connect, and that's my man.
amen,
You know what I'm saying?
amen.
So it's something
Nothing
he
but
wanted to
big brother
do.
love right there, man. That's that brotherly love that they talk about in Philadelphia. That's what
Man,
I'm here
man,
for that. I'm
man,
here
that
for
shit
that.
ain't
And
down
you know
there.
what,
That
man?
ain't down
You know
there no
what?
more.
I got to piggyback off of that. What I was saying, man. You know, I forget what year it was, man. But when I finally made it to the big stage, man, down in Vegas, man, I fought on the Shane and Mayweather undercard, and the guy that I fought, man, was signed under Floyd Mayweather. His name was Deion Savage, and this guy at the time was undefeated. He had all knockouts. This guy was 10-0 with 10 knockouts. And of course, you know, when they called me, we had already known that, of course, they called me as a stepping stone. But during this time, I was training.
Explain that right quick. Explain that stepping stone statement right quick.
Well, in other words, man, you know, they try to use me as, you know, as an easy target, somebody he can just walk over, man.
What do you mean, like a bum setup?
Pretty much, more or less, yeah. You know, but
Okay.
you know, these guys didn't really know. You know, all they knew, man, that I was going to be a tough fight. You know, my record spoke for itself. You know, but at the same time, you know, they built this guy up so much, man. They hyped him up so much that they really made him believe, man, that you know I was an easy win. So of course, man, you know, I was training, you know, down there with Bozy Ennis and you know his sons and stuff, man. And them guys, man, them guys got me right, man. I'm talking about, man. Listen, when I got to the fight, when I got down in Vegas, man, you know, man, this motherfucker, man, we fought. I'm talking about we fought tooth and nail, man, to the very end, man. Every round, 8 rounds, man. And it's a lot of people who actually thought that I literally won that fight off of decision, but I end up losing that fight, you know, because of course, he was with Floyd Mayweather, man, and Floyd Mayweather was promoting. You know, he had his hands in on the card, you know, so they pretty much stole that fight from me, man. But you know, they was really looking to knock me out, man, and this guy just couldn't get me out of there. And let alone, you know, I was the first guy that ever got in the ring with this boy, man, that he couldn't knock out. He couldn't even knock me the fuck down, man. He couldn't do nothing with me, man. Every time I laid hands on this guy, he was just hearing grunt. You know, and I knew I had it. I knew it. You know, but I got cut real bad over the left eye. After the fight, I was cut so bad, man, that I had to go to the hospital right after the fight, man, and I had to get about 15 stitches to close my eye up. But I fought about maybe during the time when I got cut, we still had about 5 rounds left. And the referee, I remember, man, to this day, the referee came. He came in my corner and he wanted to stop the fight because my eye was cut so bad, man. I was bleeding like a pig, man. And I told the referee, man, I said, yo, don't stop this fucking fight, man. Don't stop this fight. I can see it. Don't worry about it.
So in other words, they were basically treating you like what they call in the wrestling business a jobber. They was just trying to use you as a jobber.
That's what that's what they thought until I proved them the fuck wrong.
Yeah, and yeah. So, but how did it feel to you when Ivan would come from Jersey to watch you fight? I mean, what did that mean to you?
It meant the world to me, man, because Ivan was somebody, man, you know, Ivan, believe it or not, man, Ivan wanted to take me from the people that I was with. But because Ivan don't step on people's toes, man, you know, and he don't meddle in other people's affairs, you know, he left it alone because he didn't want no quarrels with nobody, man. You know what I mean? But had I have known then what I know now, man, I would have fucking left, man, because you know my career was just went a whole different direction, man. You know, you know when I started training with Ivan, man, you know the dedication was there, man. You know, and you know Ivan is one of the no nonsense type trainers, man, and I really dug that about him, man. And he tell you, man, when I got into the gym, basically that's what I wanted. I wanted a no nonsense trainer, man. I was a no nonsense dude myself, man. So when I when I went into the gym, man, I did what I did, which was training, and I trained hard, man. I trained fucking hard.
Yeah. So, wow. So is he? I mean, out of all the trainers you had, is he the most gruesome?
Uh, I would have to say him and Bozy Ennis, man. Him and Bozy both, man. Bozy probably a little bit more crucial, but both of them was crucial, man. When I say Ivan don't fuck around in that gym, he don't mess around, and neither do
Mm.
Bozy. So and then I can't speak bad about you know uh Greg Robinson. I was training under him as well, man. But it just was a big difference there, man. As far as training wise, man. I don't walk around. I don't fight nobody back out, man. And like I said, man, I gotta give Greg Robinson, you know, total respect that is due to him, man. Because when Greg Robinson brought me into Power Production, that was the name of his promotional company. He was the promoter and he was also my trainer at the time. He grabbed me when I first came home from the penitentiary after doing 7 years.
Yeah, yeah. That I wanna go back to Ivan real quick before we get back to that, and let's talk about some of your professional career. Tell us about your record. Tell us about your record, Ivan, and then we'll get into some of your classic matches. Before we do that, uh, this telecast is brought to you by 80s Tees, best in retro T-shirts from the Transformers, He-Man, you name it, we got it. All right. So tell us a little bit about your uh, professional career and your boxing record.
Um, I'm a kid from Philly, man. I turned pro right in '92. Right, let me see. Right after the Olympics. Right after the Olympics happened. But while the Olympics was going on, I was in the gym training. I was looking to turn pro. But I was in the gym training. I didn't actually know it was going to come. But I had my manager named Eddie Woods.
Okay.
It was crazy how Eddie Woods was like, and I got to take my hat off to my dad because my dad was part of my career, and my dad just ran everything so smoothly, and he made it easy for me to go in the gym and train, and he be hard on me for me doing what it is that I need to do. So in '92 of October, I made my professional debut. But before I made my professional debut, like I said, Eddie Woods, he seen me at the age of 13.
Okay.
He used to come to all my amateur fights. And what was funny about he used to come to my mom and dad house every Saturday and have coffee early in the morning while I go run because up the street from my mom and dad house was a park that I used to run at. And him and my dad used to have coffee, and they take the coffee outside with them and come to the park, and I have to run. So, so after I ran, he would come to the house, talk to my mom and dad, and talk to me, tell me what a good fighter I was, and then he knew the schedule of the fights of the amateur fights. He used to always tell me, well, I'm not gonna be there, but I want you to go out there and do your thing. I go to the fight, I'm getting ready for the fight. I get dressed after warming up and I take the walk to the park. I take the walk to the ring. Um he there. He in front row. I'm like, I thought he said he wasn't coming. But I go there and I do my thing and he was proud. So um he came to my mom and dad house after I lost in the trials, in the Olympic trials. Um, he talked to me and everything, and him and my dad went in the back and they sat down and they talked. So when he came out, he came out with a smile. So I'm sitting there looking at him like, why is he smiling? So my dad came out and he was smiling. So I'm like, what the heck's going on? So my dad walked up to me and he gave me a contract. And I looked at the contract. I'm like, oh wow. I'm like, so you telling me I can actually turn pro now? My dad was like, yes, we taking it to the next level. So I'm like, I'm just happy. I'm like, that's what's up. Um, and then my manager Eddie Woods, man, we used to call him Lou Duva because he had white hair like Lou Duva. But he man he one of my favorites, man. He like a dad to me. He took care of me. He made sure that he got me all the right fights. I never had to worry about no money. If it was any negotiation that was going on about a fight or any money compared to a fight, he took care of it. I never had to worry about nothing. All I thought about doing was boxing, and all he thought about doing was making sure that everything was good. Like if they said that she was fighting Joe Blow the next night or a week later, all I said was send me the contract. I signed it and we fought. I,
Yeah, that's another thing. Before we go any further, that's another thing that had to be a good feeling to not have to worry about your money, because I know in businesses like boxing and other sports and promotions, you have to worry about your money. Did you ever have to come to a point to with another promoter or anything worry about your money?
if it came to anything about promoters with money and stuff, Eddie always took care of it. I mean, I might have
Okay.
heard it on the back end about him having a fight with a guy, him on the phone, arguing day in and day out, and he would call me the next night and say, Ivan, I had an argument with this guy for 2 or 3 hours about money, but I finally got the money. And then a couple of times we fought where Big Papa fought at up at the Armory in Philly, and I mean my manager was just such a great guy, man. It was fights that I took that guys don't take nowadays. And times is different now than what it was back then. But I had three, no, one, two, I think it was two fights that I had at the Army in Philadelphia that I never even got a paycheck for. That
Wow.
my manager was that good, man, and he always made sure that I never got hurt. I never was in a situation where I had to worry about anything. I never had to worry about clothes. I never had to worry about fights. I never had to worry about tape, calls, nothing like that. So Eddie was a good guy, man. I mean, he was just like my second dad, man. And he made sure nothing happened to me. Uh, when I first signed my contract, I went to the car. He went out with me and got my car. You know what I'm saying? He made sure that I put the money down on it on the car. He was just a great guy, man. But
Yeah.
as far as my career, I mean, you probably read it as well as I know Big Papa know. I had a bunch of great fights, man. I fought all the great guys, man. I didn't turn away from nobody. I fought Angel Man Freddie. I fought Arturo Gatti. I fought
Okay,
Jesse
let's
Tank
start with
Playhouse.
that one. Let's start with that one. Let's
Which
start with
one?
that one because let's start with the Arturo Gatti fight. Rest his soul, rest in peace to Arturo
Yeah.
Gatti. Uh, how you obviously you've seen tape on this guy before you got to fight him.
Do you know
How
what?
different? Yeah. So let me ask you this: how how did you prepare for this guy? Because he seemed to me like he had a kamikaze style and just kept coming for you. How were you able to prepare for that?
Well, the lead up to that fight, it was crazy because what happened was huh? What happened was we had fought it's just ironic how the fight happened. We had just came off a loss to Pito Israel Cardona.
Okay.
Um, that was probably one of the worst fights in my career, and me actually calling myself taking over my career on thinking about doing what I wanted to do. and I should have never did that. I should have let my team continue to, you know, guide me in the direction that I needed to go in. So what happened was, we had just fought about about 2 months before that. We lost, like I said, I lost my USBA title to Israel Cardona. Well, before that, I had finally fought for my first world title fight, which was against Philip Holiday.
Okay. Okay.
Everybody thought I won the fight. I thought I won the fight. The only thing that I did in that fight wrong, um, and fathers and sons have that situation where those things happen. Me and my dad got into a real bad argument, and like I said, at that time when I was getting ready to fight for the title, I was pretty much sitting on top of the world. I mean, I had everything I wanted. There was nothing that I needed there was nothing that I needed that I couldn't get. So
Okay.
in that case, I had everything. But the only thing was I wasn't smart. I was stupid. Me and my dad got into an argument, a real bad argument, and this is something that I always I don't think Big Papa know, but this is something that I always it's something like you always hold over your head, and it's like you never be able to go back to it, but you always say, "Damn, man, if I never made that mistake, I would have never did this, that, and other." Me and my dad got into an argument. And I hurt my dad. I think that was the worst thing ever for me. I think that ripped my heart out, but it was other reasons why it happened. But still, that I think that was like something that God wanted me to see if I could do, or if I could prevail, or if I was going to fail from. And I felt it because I let my dad go. And I went to fight the championship fight, and the trainer I had in my corner, he told me all the wrong things. But me being like Big Papa, I listened to my corner. I never well from what they tell me to do, I do whatever they tell me to do. And I did everything my corner told me to do, which was really not the right thing. And, I took a loss. So then after that, I still had my USBA title. I was still champion. But what I didn't know then that I know now, I didn't really have to fight for my USBA title because what they did, I think they kind of like swindled me because they kept telling me the fight was on, the fight is off, the fight is on, fight is off. So you know me, I'm like Big Papa, like man, look, stop playing, let's fight, and we fought. But the thing was, I was like 7 or 8 pounds overweight 2 nights before the fight, and it took me damn near the whole 2 days to get my weight off, and I got it off. But when I got it off, I was so weak, man. I mean, you talking about standing up? I couldn't
Oh,
stand
okay.
up
I
or
get it.
nothing,
Yeah.
So he beat me, and that was bad. That was really bad for me. I had 2 losses, and the thing about it, I had 2 losses back to back. So my manager, like I said, was a great guy. He got me a fight, but he got me a fight that he knew that I could win and that I could look good at, and it did wonders because what happened was Shane Mosley had just beat the guy that I lost to, and Shane was coming to Philly to fight. And I was in the gym training for a fight. I didn't have a fight, but I wanted a fight. I was eager to get back. I had just beat this one kid from losing my title. I wanted another fight. So my manager, being the guy he is, he was like, "Look, Ivan, I'm gonna go get you a fight. I'm gonna do whatever I need to do to get you a fight." So I was like, "All right." So we was in camp training. I had suffered a cut from the fight that I had fought like a month before that. So my cut man Leon Tab, Leon, uh, Papa, he put
Yeah.
um he put butterflies over my cut to close it up. So I was in the gym training. So my manager came to me and was like, Ivan, right now, man, don't no champions want to fight you. There's nobody out there I can get you to fight. This, that, and other. So I was, I was like pissed. Now I think it was like a week or two prior to that, before Shane Mosley came to Philly to fight, uh, Gaddy had just knocked out Rafael Ruelas in like uh fifth or sixth round, which he had lost like a month before me to Angel Man Freddy. So Gaddy was sitting, I was sitting. We didn't know what to do. Now remind you, I was in camp with Gaddy like 4.5 months before that. We was in camp with Purnell. Me and Gaddy never boxed each other. We just worked with Purnell, and Purnell put it on Gaddy so bad, man. It was crazy. They just
Really?
stopped. Yeah, he just stopped sparring Gaddy. So I became his number one sparring partner. So me and him, we sparred a lot. But prior to that, what I was saying, Shane Mosley came to Philly. He was bringing somebody from California to fight him. But the guy, I think the guy missed his flight or something. But I heard about Shane Mosley getting ready to fight this guy. So you know me, I'm like Big Papa. Me and Big Papa, we hear stuff, man. We just go straight at it with tooth and nail. So I heard Shane was coming to Philly to fight, but he was bringing somebody. So the guy couldn't come, but Shane had a press conference. Now, remind you, I had trained earlier that day. So when I heard Shane was coming to Philly to fight, and he was getting ready to have a press conference, and he was going to fight somebody else, but the guy had to stay back because he missed his plane. Man, after I trained, I shot down to the Leah Center. I mean, to the Spectrum, and I broke up Shane Mosley's uh interview and stuff, his press conference, and me and him got into it real bad.
Whoa,
Yeah,
really?
so what happened? Me and Shane was going to fight the guy, but me and Shane got into it so bad at the press conference. They nixed the dude who didn't come and made the fight with me and Shane Mosley. So
Oh,
I'm already in camp. I go back to camp and finish training I had like, I think it was like 3 weeks left for the camp for the fight. I was already in camp, so that was good. But remind you, I had butterfly stitches because my cut wasn't closed all the way. So we go in the gym. My dad and them buy this mat to go over my face, and it was to protect the cut so the cut wouldn't open up. But what happened was they had the butterfly stitches over my eye, and they put
okay.
that mask over. So when my sparring partner was hitting me with the jab, I was supposed to be slipping, but he caught me a couple times on top of the cut. The cut reopened, and I was out the Shane Mosley fight. I was so pissed. What happened? Everybody in Philly wanted to see me and Shane fight, and I wanted to fight Shane. So
You
what
know
happened?
what?
I had to
I,
pull out the Shane Mosley fight.
oh
So
my gosh, really?
yeah, yeah, I had to pull out the Shane Mosley fight. So I'm pissed. My manager pissed. The city of Philly is on fire because they ain't gonna see the fight. Man, me and Shane sold out them tickets for the Spectrum, but when I got pulled off that card, everybody took their tickets back. So I was like, people was mad at me. I was like, yo, man, I was cut from my previous fight. I couldn't help it. I got the cut reopened, so I can't fight. So now I'm pissed. My manager pissed. My dad and them pissed. The city pissed. So I'm sitting here like, damn, who I'm gonna fight? I called my manager and said, I don't care who you get. I want somebody to fight. I need to fight. So about 3 days went by, a week went by. I'm still training, thank God. So my manager, I lived in Jersey at the time. My manager lived around the corner from me. So I get a phone call like 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. I'm like, hello? He like, Ivan. I'm like, who this? He like, this is Eddie. Wake up. So I'm like, all right, yo, what's up? What's up? He's like, I did it. I'm like, what you do? He like, I got you a fight. I'm like, oh, you do? He like, yeah. So I says, All right. I said, against who? He said, Arturo Gay. I looked at my phone like, did you just say Arturo Gotti? Like,
Oh,
yeah. I was like, I went into that Big Papa stage. I don't care, man. I don't give a fuck. Let's go. Hung up the phone. He called me the next morning with all the details of the fight. I signed that contract so quick, it was a wrap. We
okay.
fought, man. We fought.
So you guys fought twice.
Yeah, we fought twice.
I mean, explain, and I'll go to Papa after this question. Explain. Was he difficult? Because me watching the fight as a spectator, um, it seemed like you had him where you wanted him in both fights. To me, after the third and fourth round, it seemed like you just was you were able to handle him like you wanted to.
Well, you know how I can't say how you ah how can I put this? Well, the what happened was we went to the press conference, and when we went to the press conference, Gaddy and I was there, and like I said, me and Gaddy had been in camp with Pradell twice, so it was like, and me and him never sparred each other. So this is where I gotta kind of like give promoters they just do because they know that's their job. They know how to make matches. Sometimes they make the best matches. Sometimes they make the lousy matches. But 9 times out of 10, the promoters make the great matches.
I
So
agree.
I don't
I
I
agree.
don't I don't know what it was. I don't know what um I don't know what the matchmaker's saying. I don't know because at that time it was I was the first camp I was in. It was Arturo Gatti, Ivan Robinson, Pernell Whitaker, uh, Robbie Pender from Australia, David Tua.
David Tua.
Yeah, David Tua, the heavyweight. They just
Yeah.
had they had so many great guys in camp, man. It was crazy. So me saying that was like, and then me and Gaddy was in camp with it was Arturo Gaddy, it was me, it was Pernell Whitaker, it was Zab Judah. I mean, I just we
Ooh,
had a whole lot
Lord.
of yeah,
Ooh.
and back then before what's the black guy name? Uh the promoter. I forget his name. Before him, and before like the rest of
Don
the
King? Was it Don King?
no, it wasn't no, it wasn't Don King. But before all them promoters came around, it was of course Bob Arum. He'd been around for a while,
Okay.
but Bob Arum was around. Don King was around. Uh, Shelly Fink, all those guys. But
Finkel.
main events was the top promotional team because they had Pernell Whitaker, they had Meldrick Tiller, they had Evander
Ooh,
Holyfield, they had
ooh,
Tyrell Biggs, they had
ooh,
Mark. They had them five guys out of the
ooh.
'84 team. And so at that time, when I was in camp with Pernell, working with Pernell, and like I said, Pernell was the first guy ever to spank me. You know what I'm saying? So that was crazy. But I never ever got a chance to spar Arturo Gatti, which I kind of glad I didn't. But then again, I wish I would have. But it happened the way it happened. So we never sparred each other. So when they made the fight, it was just crazy. Like, yo, we promoted by the same company, by the same promotional team, and they letting us fight. I'm looking at it like, I don't know, man. This look kind of funny, but
Sound
I
like a record label beef to me. Sound like a
didn't.
record label beef to me.
But it didn't matter because of the simple fact that we were both promoted by the same promotional company. But for me, I just felt as though, and it told in the fight, I was just a better fighter, man. I mean, like the first fight to me, the first fight, what made it so special and intriguing to me was that when we went to the press conference in New York, me and Gary, they announced us both. They set us on a podium, and then they did each fighter one by one. They did me first, and I was just like, I went up there with my manager and my best friend, which was my right hand guy, Rennie. We went up there, and we was with my manager. We seen the doers. They treated us well. Like I said, they promoted me and Gaddy, so they treated us both well. But the thing was that got me was like when they came to me and they asked me, they was like, Ivan, we know you ain't been in no big fights except for the one you was just in with the world champion instead of a. We know you're a great fighter, but what you think about Otero Gaddy and what you gonna bring? I just kept it simple and straight, and what I thought was real. I told him, I said, Gaddy's a great fighter, but I'm the better fighter, and I'm gonna win like that. And I left it at that. I kept it sweet and short. Gaddy gets on the podium talking about, well, Ivan Robinson's a good fighter, but I'm gonna knock him out, and he don't bring guns to he don't bring guns to a fight. He bring knives to a fight. So after that,
he said that?
That's what he said. And what made it so funny about it, my right hand man, Rennie, who was with me at the time, when we leave, I will never forget this as long as I live. He got in the car with me because back then that's when limos was the hot thing, and we was in the limo. So I asked my man Rennie, I tapped him, I said, Rennie, I said, yo, tell me what Gaddy meant by bringing knives to a gunfight. He was like, I swear to God, this is what he said to me. He looked at me and said, you got to be the dumbest motherfucker in the world. I was like, what are you talking about? He was like, man, he said that you ain't gonna do nothing but cut him up. You can't punch. He bringing the guns to the fight. He's the bigger puncher. He should have never told me that, man. That shit made me so mad. When I went in camp, that's all I thought about the whole fight. So getting ready for the fight, I'm getting ready for the fight. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to. So we get to the fight, the night of the fight. We get dressed. I'm excited. I want to get out there and fight, man. I think when I fought Gaddy, that was the biggest and most people that I ever seen. We fought at I think it was at I think it might have been the Tom and Mac or something like that. One of them dumb casinos down there was the big one. No, my fault. We fought in the convention center. That's where we fought, Land City Convention Center. Man, that thing crowded. Man, I seen every mobster that you could think about. I seen all the Sopranos, because back then the Sopranos was hot on TV.
Yes, they were.
Every Soprano player, actor that was in the movie was at the fight. Gaddy knew every mobster there had to be in the city of Atlantic City, New Jersey, Philly. Man, everybody came out to see Gaddy. Yeah. So, prior to the fight, I get in the fight. We warm up. We getting ready. So now it's like 5 seconds before we get ready to go to the ring, to walk to the ring. Now, me and my team, we always say a prayer before we go to the ring and get in the ring to fight. We always say a prayer. So we got in there, we said a prayer, and I remember right before the walkout, after the prayer, I turned around and I looked down the hall, and I hear everybody screaming Gaddy's name. And then I thought about what my man had told me prior to what Gaddy said at the press conference. So I go back inside. I walk back inside where everybody was standing, and I told everybody, I said, everybody come here. And the TV cameras and everything was right there. So they was like, Ivan, come on, it's time for you to come out. It's time for you to come out. So I go back in the little walk area where we was going to come out. I grabbed all my team. I said, look, I know we trained hard for about 8 weeks for this fight. But I said, and I know we supposed to have been boxing this whole fight. But I said, you know what? I said, tonight, if Gaddy wants to win, he going to have to knock me out. And I turned around and I ran out to the ring. My team was trying to grab me, telling me, come here, no, come here, Dad. Man, I shot out to that ring, shot out to that corner. And that was the only thing that I was thinking about, was that the whole time I looked at it as a disrespect to me, but I know Gaddy looked at it as like, I want to get more people to come to this fight and I can actually beat Ivan. But not that night. He couldn't do it that night. And I told my team before I left out, ran out to the ring, I said the only way Arturo Gaddy gonna win this fight tonight is if he kill me. Not if he knock me out. He gonna have to kill me. And I ran out to, I was getting ready to run out to the ring. My team was trying to grab me. Come here, Ivan. No, come here, Ivan. I left them jokers right there. I shot out to the ring. And that first fight was a respect fight. I mean, that's why you seen to some point in the fight that the fight was going back and forth, because my thing was Gaddy was a big puncher, but
Yes, he
Gaddy couldn't
was.
deal with my speed, and I boxed better than him. And plus, I had the better defense than he had. So I pretty much had everything going for me. I mean, if boxers or experts really knew boxing like they knew about boxing the way they should, they would have known that if I done what I've done my whole career, Gaddy would not be able to beat me. But the only way that I would lose that fight if I got stupid and did something that Gaddy wanted me to do and stay there and get caught by one of them big bombs he was going to throw
Right.
and get me
Looking
out of
at
there.
those
But
punches, and I don't mean to cut you off. Looking at that fight, I don't
mhm,
think he was expecting you to come back, because I wouldn't say you fought like him that night, but he
yeah,
wasn't expecting that
no,
barrage that
he
you
wasn't.
were bringing to him. So
Right.
w-
And see, that's one thing that I think the last like 3 or 4 years. No, how long you been going, Papa?
From where?
From Philly.
I've been here in Florida for 2 years.
Well, like I'm gonna say the last 3.5 years before Papa came to me. But that was one thing that I sat down and corresponded with Papa, was like, Papa, you got to understand that also in boxing, a lot of times, boxing is always about, thinking, about using your brain. And that was something that I think Papa didn't use when he was fighting early in his career. When he came to me, things changed totally differently. Like with Floyd, what I'm saying, Floyd is Floyd. Floyd is the
yeah,
man. But Floyd was a perfection at what he do, because why? Because Floyd knew how to dissect this fighter that he was fighting, and he was smart in the ring. And that's something that I was teaching Papa back in Philly, down here in Philly when he was here, and he caught on to it, and it made him train a lot different, and it actually really made him look a lot better than what I've seen Papa look in a long time. And that was
okay,
the difference in the me and Gaddy fight. I just
okay.
knew how to use my head. I knew when to pick. I knew to pick the fight. I knew when not to fight. I knew how many times to hit the Joker before he hit me. I was just a smarter fighter that night. That
Yeah,
was that,
I think
that
you
was
were,
a
bro.
super
I
night
mean,
for
I
me.
watched both of your fights with him.
Hmm.
Let me talk to this guy. So before we left off, Papa, once again, we're talking to the great Ivan Robinson and the living legend himself, Big Papa Speller. Uh, Let me ask you this: you mentioned something, you had to go away for a while, uh, and that kind of put you out of the loop for a little bit. You want to share with the viewers right quick about how that went down and why it's so important for kids to listen to the OGs like yourself these days?
Well, hey man, I don't know. It was like back in 90, I want to say 97, 98.
Mhm. I think his sound went out.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah,
You back? I'm here. Can you hear me?
yeah, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got you.
I went to jail back in '98, man. After doing, you know, in and out, in and out, in and out. Man, somebody trying. Give me a minute, man. I had to hang. There's somebody trying to call me, but I'm on this podcast, man. So I'm just rejecting these calls, man. And I'm driving, but hey, man, I finally ended up going to the penitentiary, man. I did them 7 years, man. And when I came home, I said, man, I gotta find something that I'm good at, so that I won't go back to jail, man. And I always said that, damn, I'm good with my hands, and I always been good with fighting shit. I always used to love to fight because when I was in school, man, I used to fight every day coming home from school. If a joker said something about my sister, I punched him in his goddamn mouth. I mean, I stayed fighting about my sisters a lot, man. So,
Hmm.
then in the neighborhood, I had a lot of guys in the neighborhood. I was a fat kid growing up, man. So I used to get picked on a lot, man. You know, truth be told. So, you know, even though I used to get picked on, guys used to just the neighborhood used to gather about 5 or 6 guys to try to jump me because I was just that dude that I would always fight, but I was just too big for them niggas to handle by themselves, man. So it always would take 4, 5, 6 guys, man, to try to do whatever they wanted to do, man. But you know, hey, man, listen, the old heads in the neighborhood, man, they used to always make everybody line it up and fight, one on one, man. But when I came home, man, I finally, I went pro, man. I was down in Delaware. Uh, I was with, I was married to my ex-wife at the time, and I was down in Delaware training, and I came back to Philly, man. I had about what 4 or 5 amateur fights. I can't really remember, but I said, man, I can't feed no wife and a family off of trophies. You know what I mean? So I had gained enough experience, man. Whereas though I could say, fuck it, I'm gonna just go ahead on and turn pro, and learn the rest of the stuff on the job learning, man. And that's what I did. I went on here and I turned pro. And then a lot of guys in the amateurs, judges and stuff like that, man. It was like, listen, man. Even in the amateurs, man, I was a force to be reckoned with, man. But I was a heavyweight in the amateurs, believe it or not, man. And when I came and turned pro, I never really thought that I would be able to make 168 pounds, man. But I made my pro debut at 168 pounds. But
Wow.
a lot of them judges used to tell me, man, you know, uh, man, you got a pro style, man. You'll definitely do real good in the pros, and definitely, man. I went pro, and when I went pro, I felt a lot better because in the amateurs, man, it was all about you got to get your hands off so fast. You can't really set your punches. I didn't really enjoy the amateurs, man. But when I got into the pro ranks, man, I just love that shit, man. And to this day, man, I love boxing, man. Regardless of the health issues that I went through, man, regardless of the bad management that I went through, it's just I love fighting, man. And believe it or not, it hurt me to this day, man. You know, right now we speak, I'm dead serious, man. I came on this podcast, man. You know, I came on this podcast because I'm serious about fighting. And I was really looking forward to Chris Bird being on this goddamn podcast. And that 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 that
I was
that
waiting for it to come. I was waiting for it to
that
come.
that
I know it's coming.
that only tells me a few things, man. Either the motherfucker did some research and did some reading. And because I'm gonna tell you something, man. In my city, I'm known by everybody, man. Every boxer in Philadelphia, man. Listen, the best of them. I done hung in there with the best of them, man. And a lot of guys would hate to box me, man, because of the fact that I was so heavy-handed, man. They guys was, I punch like a sludge hammer, man. And that ain't no bullshit. But you know, I don't know, man. I'm starting to think that somebody got in Chris' ear and told this guy, man, leave this motherfucker alone. He ain't, he might be 47 years old, man, and but this guy ain't to be fucked with, man. You know, but either that, or he just got cold feet. I don't know what the fuck, but he's sure not acting like no goddamn former heavyweight champ. I tell you that shit.
So, before we go any further, we're speaking to the legendary Ivan Robinson and the great Big Papa Speller. And we were supposed to have Chris Bird here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, but don't know what happened. He probably got caught in traffic or something, but
no, that motherfucker got cold feet. Don't try to get that motherfucker no traffic and all that, because even I'm driving right now. I'm driving as we speak right now. And if it was traffic, that don't stop nobody from picking up their phone, linking in. So if he was stuck in traffic, that's even better, because he could sit still and talk that talk with me. You know what I'm saying? And let's try to get somewhere, man. But hey, man, I was really looking forward, man, to having him on this
What you done
podcast,
started,
man.
Stacey?
So, huh?
I said, see what State's done started.
I was really looking forward to having him on this podcast, man, because I done started training, I done started running, man. I done got back on a boxing diet, man. Listen, man. I mean, shit. Even my wife said, I started training even before even before you called me, Stacy, about the fight. And I said, well, fuck it, let's go with it. Chris Bird, his hat was his name was in the mix, before I left Philadelphia, but the shit never came to fruition. And then when I got down here and you first met me, and I told you what I was into,
okay, yeah.
man, you clicked right away, man. And now, you and I talking, getting the boxing gym
We're
together.
Gonna do some amazing things. So let me ask you this. Once again, we're speaking to the legendary Big Papa Speller and the great Ivan Robinson. Let me ask you this. If you could say one thing to Chris Bird.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah. It's too late. Yeah, you go ahead and do it, Stacy. The world want to hear. The world want to hear it. So I'm gonna say it.
So
now go ahead and ask the question.
So we already see how you feel about this. If he accepts the challenge, then
I'm gonna kick his ass.
Then what after that?
You heard what he said. You heard what he said.
I'm gonna kick his ass. So if he get a chance to see the podcast afterwards,
he will.
I'm gonna tell him. Well, then I'm gonna tell him direct. Chris, get your tail out your ass and let's fight.
I'm gonna try to get him on tomorrow, because I don't know. I haven't checked my DMs yet, but I'm gonna try to get him on tomorrow, and we're gonna try to do this again tomorrow if that's cool. So
tell him I said specifically to get his tail out his ass, man, and let's fight.
The man looks in great shape like you do. So we'll see.
I stay in great shape. That's my name, great shape.
I know. So before I let you go, because I want to finish this tomorrow, because this has been entertaining. So we over here, once again, we're speaking with the great Ivan Robinson and the legendary Big Papa Speller, boxing. So over here, guys, I want to get your Mount Rushmore of all-time great fighters. Instead of 4, we go 5 over here, and I'll let Ivan start this one off, and we can end it after that. But I'm excited about talking to Chris tomorrow. So whenever you guys ready, who's your top 5 Mount Rushmore? We call it Mount Brumore over here. So
You talking about fighters, right? So I'm gonna go with
Okay.
mm,
I know your
it
first
doesn't
one. I know
it
your first
doesn't
two.
it doesn't matter what weight, right? Is it
Don't
a
matter what
certain?
weight.
All
Don't
right,
matter what weight.
it's crazy. I heard about this guy. I heard about this guy a lot, and I finally decided last week to look him up. And damn, he was fantastic fighter, magnificent. So I'm gonna go with Salvador Sanchez.
Okay. Okay.
Um, I didn't put this guy in before, but I gotta put him in, man. Especially like I said, thank you for calling me a legend. That's what you feel as though I am. I appreciate it. But
Oh
this
yeah.
guy is definitely a legend. And like I told you earlier, he's the only guy ever. I got some losses in my career, but this guy right here was the only guy to ever give me a spanking. I mean, he beat me like my mom and dad beat me when I was younger, and that was Pernell Whitaker.
Okay.
Um, that's two.
Yeah, that's
Three,
two.
three and four. I mean, can three be a tie? Because
Yeah.
my number three will be the same name, but just I mean, yeah, the same name, but just different people. Ray
We'll go
Robinson
3A and
and Rick
3B.
Leonard.
We'll go 3A and 3B.
Okay, 3A would be Ray Robinson, 3B would be Ray Leonard.
Okay.
Um, um, Number four, this is my man. I gotta go with him. People call him a legend. He is a legend, but people probably wouldn't have him in this situation like I did. But I got to give it to my man James Tony.
James Tony. Love James Tony.
Yeah, that's my man.
I
And
love
the
that guy.
last one, the reason why he's my number five is because I mean I went to his camp a couple times, and he's always around. Um, and this is the only man, not guy, the only man that I ever seen that can control a fight with one hand, and that's Larry Holmes.
Woo! We'll talk about that tomorrow about that Larry O, because I need your opinion on something.
Okay,
All right,
no
all
doubt.
right, Big Papa. What do you say, bro? Your top five all time Mount Rushmore of boxing of all time.
Oh man, shucks, man, that's a lot, man. So I guess I'll start with I guess I'm gonna start with Alexis Aguayo, man. I used to like to see Alexis Aguayo, man.
Hey, yeah, that's cool. That's
Okay.
good.
Woo.
Then I say Aaron Pryor.
Okay.
Woo.
You putting Alexis over Aaron? Okay.
Oh
No,
wow.
well, hey man, he just giving up my top five, so I'm just
Yeah, I
giving it in
got
any
you.
order, man.
I got
So
you.
my next one, I used to love Riddick Bowe, man. Riddick Bowe was just, I don't know,
Yeah.
man. It was just I used to just love to see Riddick Bowe fight, man.
It was the modern day George
Um,
Foreman to me.
Yeah.
uh, then I would have to go with huh. I had to say Roy Jones, man. I used to love to watch Roy Jones.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
my dude. My
Okay.
dude.
And I know Roy personally, man. But I grew up watching Roy, man. Um, my next one on the list would be oh man, who else? Who? Oh man, that's so many. Um, shit, George Foreman, man. I used to love George Foreman, man.
Everybody
Okay.
love George,
Uh,
man.
Okay. So I want to be
uh,
clear. You guys left out some greats, but I see nobody picked Tyson, nobody picked Ali, nobody picked Floyd, nobody picked Duran Hearns, or nobody like that, or Sonny Liston. Uh, that's interesting, bro. That's very interesting. And we got to get into that tomorrow too. So uh, I'm glad you guys stopped by. You saved the show tonight. This is season 2, first show, and we were trying to hit it off with a bang. You guys came through and saved us, man. And we'll try to get Chris on tomorrow if you guys are up to it.
Yeah, I'm always up for a challenge, man. Always. I
With
wake
that
up, I
being
wake,
said,
I wake up, I wake up every morning expecting a challenge, man. But I'm gonna tell you something, man. I'm gonna tell you something, man. The same shit that's happening now is the same crap that was happening before I left Philadelphia, man. Ivan Robinson kept trying to get me a fight, trying to get me a fight, trying to get me a fight. And you know what happened? These guys, they're opting into the fight. And then next thing you know, Ivan calling me talking about these guys pulled out. For some reason, I don't know what it is, man, but it was always hard to get me an opponent, man. Always.
yeah, well, let's see what we can mask off about getting him on. Uh, because I would love to see this, and I'm sure he's
and,
probably
and,
in
and
them.
I definitely want to, I definitely want to get in here and tangle with this guy, man. I want this guy to be I want this guy to be my dance partner, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, I got a lot of respect for Chris. You know, I gotta say that, man. You know, I didn't seen Chris fight times and times over again, man. And I, you know, as a fighter, I can't disrespect him. You know, the man has definitely built a great legacy. You know, he's a former heavyweight champion. You know, but me as a fighter, man, you know, don't none of that shit mean nothing to me, man. You ain't fought Big Papa yet. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, that right there, man, that would have been the biggest fight of my career, man. And after I'd have kicked his ass, I'd have went
Lord,
right back into retirement, man.
amen.
So yeah,
Wh-
I'm definitely itching, you know, to get this shit going.
Okay, well, I'm doing my best. I'm not instigating nothing, brothers, but I'm here for the shenanigans. So, with that being said, brothers, uh, I thank you for stopping by. This has been the legendary Ivan Robinson and the new classic. My God, Big Papa Speller. All right, brothers. We will see you tomorrow, hopefully. Thank you for stopping by.
All right, talk to y'all
Same
later.
time,
All right, same time.
same time, same time. All
Okay.
right, brother.
All right.